This video is about she was his secret, but the blood moon revealed all. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung low in the sky, its silvery light spilling over the forest like a veil, illuminating the hidden paths of the evergreen pack. The air was thick with anticipation. Tonight was the blood moon, a celestial event that awakened primal instincts and revealed hidden truths. In the heart of the pack, where ancient trees formed a natural amphitheater, whispers danced among the shadows. They spoke of the upcoming gathering to honor the blood moon, where alphas claimed their mates and destinies intertwined. But beneath the surface, an unspoken tension crackled. Orelai stood apart from the thrumming crowd, her heart pounding in time with the distant howls. She was an Omega, the lowest in the pack's hierarchy, yet her spirit flickered like fire in the dark. She had found solace in the woods, far from the expectations of her role. "Why do you always linger in the shadows, Orelai?" The voice cut through her thoughts. It was Kale, the Alpha's son, whose presence was magnetic. His deep blue eyes bored into hers, filled with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. I just prefer the quiet," she stammered, her cheeks flushing under his gaze. She could feel the pull between them, a bond neither could ignore, yet neither could fully embrace. "What if I want you in the light?" Kale stepped closer, his voice low and inviting, carrying the weight of unspoken desires. The air shifted, charged with the tension of this shared secret. Orelai's heart raced. They had been drawn to each other for months, exchanging stolen glances and whispers, but their worlds were too different. He was an Alpha, and she was just an Omega. "Kale, we can tea." Her voice faltered, but not from a lack of courage. She feared what their union could mean. "Let me decide that," he urged, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "It is the blood moon. It is the time of revelation. Don't you feel it?" "Yes," she breathed, her body betraying her mind as she leaned into his touch. The magnetic pull of their bond surged, awakening instincts that had long been suppressed. Before she could reply, a low growl echoed through the clearing, interrupting their moment. Kek, Kale's brother in the Alpha's chosen heir, stepped forward. His eyes glinted with suspicion, a predator who sensed the delicate dance of emotions between them. "Kale, what are you doing?" Kek's tone was sharp, slicing through the warmth that had enveloped Orelai. "The pack needs you. The ceremony is about to begin." Reluctantly, Kale stepped back, the warmth of his touch slipping away. "For just a moment, brother," he said, his voice strained. "Come on," Gerk interrupted, a smirk creeping onto his lips. "Don't you keep the pack waiting. Don't you forget your duties." With a lingering glance at Orelai, Kale followed Gerk into the crowd, leaving her breathless and yearning. The moment had been fleeting, yet it ignited a fire within her soul. As the night deepened, the pack gathered, the air thick with anticipation. Orelai found herself drawn to the fringes, where she could watch without being seen. She pulled her shawl tighter around her shoulders, seeking comfort in its folds. The elders began the ceremony, chanting ancient verses that resonated with the very earth beneath her feet. Each word felt like a call, a summons to the dormant wolf within her. The moon above began to rise, this crimson hue painting the night with a sense of urgency. "Let the blood moon reveal the bond of mates," the elder proclaimed, his voice echoing through the clearing. "May those destined find their paths intertwined." Orelai's heart raced. She closed her eyes, surrendering to the tide of emotions. But then she felt it, a ripple of energy coursing through the air, a call to destiny that sent her instincts into overdrive. Suddenly, a howl pierced the night, resonating with power. Orelai opened her eyes to see Kale standing before the pack, his form regal and commanding. Dirk stood beside him, a dark shadow, his loyalty unwavering, yet his eyes full of resentment. "Tonight, we honor the blood moon," Kale declared, his voice strong. "As Alphas, it is our duty to embrace our destiny." His gaze swept the gathering, landing on Orelai, igniting something deep within her. "Kale," she whispered to herself, feeling the weight of longing and fear. Chanting intensified, and the blood-red moon reached its zenith, casting an otherworldly glow across the clearing. In that moment, the world around her faded, leaving only Kale's piercing gaze and the unbreakable bond that tethered them together. Orelai felt a pull, a whisper of fate weaving their paths tighter. But with it came the haunting reality of their situation, a forbidden love that could unravel the very fabric of their existence. As the ceremony continued, the air thickened with magic, and a feeling of foreboding crept in. Gek's watchful eyes never left Kale, a storm brewing beneath his calm exterior. He knew something was amiss, but the depth of his jealousy would soon demand a price. Caught in a web of emotions, Orelai's heart ached with the knowledge that their love was threatened. What if the pack discovers us? She murmured, the question laced with dread. Kale took a step closer, his voice a soothing balm against her turmoil. Let them come. I would choose you over the pack 1,000 times, he vowed, his gaze unwavering. You are my destiny, Orlaia. But just as hope ignited, a figure stepped from the shadows, Lysandra, a fierce and cunning member of the pack. She had always held a grudge against Orlaia, and her eyes burned with envy. Ah, the Omega thinks she can claim an Alpha's heart? Lysandra sneered, her voice dripping with disdain. Orlaia's heart sank, the joy of the moment fracturing under the weight of rejection and betrayal. This isn't your place, Lysandra, Kale said, his tone sharp. You don't understand. Don't I? Is she challenged, stepping closer. You are risking everything for a nobody, Kale. The pack will never accept her. You'll have to choose, and I know what your duty is. The tension grew, the pack watching intently, murmurs rising like smoke. Orla felt the eyes of her packmates, felt their judgment poised like a blade against her heart. No one gets to decide who I love, Kale fired back, his voice fierce. The pack was silent, the weight of his declaration sinking in. Not even you, Lysandra. With a triumphant grin, Lysandra stepped back, her words tainted with malice. We shall see how your love withstands the truth, Kale. The blood moon reveals more than you know. As she turned to leave, the atmosphere shifted. A cold wind swept through the clearing, foretelling the chaos that lay ahead. Orla felt the weight of the pack as scrutiny, their whispers echoing in her mind, a reminder of her place. Kale reached for her hand, but she pulled away, fear mingling with despair. This isn't just about us, she cried, her voice breaking with emotion. It is about the pack, your duty. Kale's expression hardened, confusion clouding his features. I want to lose you to their rejection. You mean more to me than any title or position. Orla's heart ached at his words, yet the truth loomed like a shadow. But they will never accept me. I cannot bear to see you torn apart by this. The blood moon loomed overhead, a witness to their plight. The night felt alive, and Orla realized the revelations were just beginning. Beneath the weight of destiny and the pull of instinct, the inevitable clashes would come. As the ceremony continued, she made a silent vow to herself she would fight for their love, no matter the cost. But as the winds howled and the moon bathed the world in crimson, Orla feared the trials ahead would test them both in ways they never imagined. The blood moon revealed all, and in its light, their secrets would soon unravel. The crimson light of the blood moon hung above the evergreen pack like a watchful guardian, casting an enchanting glow that revealed more than just the dark silhouettes of the trees. It illuminated the deep-seated struggles within the pack, particularly those of Orlaia and Kale. As the ceremonial chants faded into the night, a thick tension enveloped the clearing. Orlaia stood frozen, her heart a tempest of emotions. The echoes of Kale's fierce declaration still reverberated in her mind, but doubt gnawed at her soul. Kale. The desperate whisper escaped her lips just as he turned away, swept by the tide of his duties. Orlaia's pulse quickened. She couldn't allow him to disappear into the crowd without knowing the depths of her turmoil. She chased after him, her feet barely touching the earth. When she finally caught up, she found him standing at the edge of the crowd, his gaze fixed on the horizon as if searching for answers in the shadows. Why did you pull away? He asked, his voice strained yet laced with urgency. I can bear the thought of you being torn apart by this. You have a duty, Kale, a future forged in the fires of your lineage, she implored, her heart aching. And I am just an Omega. Kale's expression darkened, a flicker of anger and hurt flashing in his eyes. You are not just anything, he snapped, his tone raising the hairs on her arm. You are my choice, my mate. Orlaia's heart swelled at his words, but doubt still clung to her like a shadow. But what if the pack rejects us? What if they turn against you? Then let them, he exclaimed, his voice fierce cutting through the night air. I want to let tradition chain my heart. I'll fight for you, Orlaia. His eyes bore into hers, fierce with conviction. Fight how? She whispered, fear creeping into her voice. You'll be the one bearing the brunt of their anger. The pack looks to you. They expect you to follow their rules. I don't care about their expectations. Kale growled, frustration bursting forth. What do I care for a title if I lose you? Orlaia's breath hitched. You don't understand the stakes, Kale. I don't want to be the reason for your downfall. Kale stepped closer, his presence consuming her like a wildfire. And I don't want to be the reason for your silence. The bond between us, it's real. I can turn away from it. I want to. Their faces were mere inches apart, the air charged with an electric longing. But just as hope flickered alive, Gehrk emerged from the crowd, his expression fierce and unyielding. Still playing with fire, are we? He sneered, his words like icicles cutting through the warmth of the moment. You risking everything, Kale. Get lost, Gaek, Kale snapped, his voice laced with irritation. Gaek stepped closer, his icy gaze fixed on Aurelia. You think they will accept you after tonight, especially now that Lysander S. planted seeds of doubt? They'll see you as a threat. I can't let him sacrifice everything for me. Aurelia shouted, her voice trembling. But then step aside, Gaek said, a sinister glint in his eyes. Let him fulfill his duty as the next alpha. Kale's jaw clenched, but Aurelia could see the doubt creeping into his heart. This is my choice, Gaek, not yours, he asserted, but the uncertainty lingered in the air. Aurelia took a shaky breath, her heart shattering as the reality of the situation washed over her. Maybe Gaek is right, maybe this is a battle we can't win. Not. Kale shouted, his voice raw with emotion. You can't give up on us, we've fought too hard for this. I just need time to think. Aurelia cried, her heart racing. She could feel the weight of the pack's expectations crushing her spirit. Gaek's lips curled into a mocking smile. Time, the blood moon won't wait for your doubts, Aurelia. It reveals everything, even your darkest fears. The words struck Aurelia like a physical blow. She turned and fled, her heart pounding in her chest as she plunged into the depths of the forest. The branches snapped against her skin like accusing fingers, but she pressed on, needing to escape the weight of their judgments. Aurelia found solace in a secluded glade, bathed in the moonlight. She sank to the ground, burying her face in her hands. What do I do? She whispered to the night, her voice trembling. The echoes of Kale's promises haunted her, and tears streamed down her cheeks. The whisper of the wind seemed to hold answers, but it only deepened her confusion. She wanted to be strong to embrace this fierce love that ignited her soul, but fear had woven itself into her very being. A rustle broke her reverie, and Aurelia glanced up to see Lysander emerging from the shadows, her eyes gleaming with malice. Running away, little Omega? What do you want, Lysander? Aurelia snapped, wiping her tears angrily. I just wanted to remind you of your place, Lysander said, her voice dripping with venom. You think you can just waltz in and take what doesn't belong to you? I am not trying to take anything. Aurelia shot back, her voice steadying. Kale and your fantasy, Lysander interrupted with a scornful laugh. You think he'll choose a mere Omega over his duty, over a future that matters? Aurelia felt her heart drop. He loves me, she whispered, but the certainty in her voice wavered. Love it as a fleeting illusion, Lysander sneered, stepping closer. You think the pack will accept you, they'll see you as weak, a liability. Kale will have to choose between you and his role as alpha. Stop it, Aurelia said, her voice breaking. Fear gripped her heart. What if Lysander was right? Lysander leaned in, her eyes sparkling with triumph. And when he does choose the pack, where will you be? Alone, abandoned. No, Aurelia whispered, shaking her head as tears pooled in her eyes. He wouldn't do that. Just wait. The blood moon has a way of revealing true colors, Lysander taunted before vanishing into the shadows, leaving Aurelia drowning in doubt and despair. Aurelia sank to the ground, her heart heavy with the weight of betrayal. As the moon continued its ascent, illuminating the forest around her, she felt lost and forsaken, an Omega without a home. But through the despair, a flicker of hope ignited. She recalled Kale's fierce promise, his unwavering determination. I will fight for you, he had said, and her heart clenched at the memory. What if love was worth the risk? With renewed resolve, she pushed herself to her feet. She would find Kale, they would face this together. The bond they shared was more than instincts, it was a flame that refused to be extinguished. As she emerged from the shadows, she caught sight of the pack gathered in the clearing, their expressions a mix of intrigue and resentment. Kale stood at the center, his gaze scanning the crowd, and in that moment their eyes met. Aurelia's breath hitched at the intensity of his stare, the way it seemed to bridge the chasm of doubt that had formed between them. She stepped forward, the weight of the pack's eyes upon her, feeling vulnerable yet fierce. Kale, she called, her voice steady, cutting through the murmurs. He turned, his eyes widening with hope. Aurelia! Whatever the outcome, I will stand by your side, she declared, her heart racing with determination. I will not let fear dictate our love. Derek stepped forward, his face a mask of disbelief. You re foolish, Aurelia, you don't know what you re asking for. I know exactly what I am asking for, she replied, her voice unwavering. I am asking for the chance to love and be loved regardless of what lies ahead. Silence enveloped the clearing, and for a moment it felt as if the world itself held its breath. Kale stepped forward, his heart on his sleeve. You are my mate, Orelai. Nothing can change that. As the blood moon blazed overhead, Orelai felt a rush of warmth surround her. The bond was undeniable, and destiny was no longer just a whisper in the wind, it was a clarion call. Then let them judge us, Cale stated, his voice echoing with conviction. Let the blood moon reveal our truth. In that moment, with the moon shining bright, two hearts intertwined, ready to embrace whatever trials awaited them. But deep within the shadows, the specter of betrayal loomed, waiting to unravel their love story in ways they had yet to comprehend. The blood moon loomed high in the sky, a fierce sentinel casting its crimson glow over the evergreen pack. Orla stood before Cale, her heart pounding like a war drum, the weight of the pack's expectations heavy upon her shoulders. As murmurs rippled through the gathering, she felt the sharp gaze of Garrick piercing through her, a reminder of the stakes. His disdain was palpable, a dark cloud hovering over the love that dared to blossom between her and Cale. Are you certain? Cale's voice broke through her reverie, filled with concern. He stepped closer, brushing his fingers along her arm, igniting a spark that sent shivers coursing through her. We can still back away from this. It doesn't have to unfold like this. No, Orla replied, shaking her head fiercely. I've spent too long hiding in the shadows, Cale. I won't let fear dictate my heart anymore. But this is more than just us. His voice was thick with emotion, yet beneath it lay an undercurrent of desperation. The pack. Let them see. Orla interrupted, her voice rising against the tide of doubt. Let them bear witness to what we have. Cale's brow furrowed, the conflict within him clear. I don't want them to see you suffer because of me. No one will suffer if we stand together, she insisted, her resolve hardening. I choose you, and I choose our love. A low growl echoed from the edge of the gathering, a sound that sent a ripple of wariness through the pack. It was Garrick, stepping forward with a predatory grace. How noble, he mocked, his eyes glinting with malice. But your love does not shield you from reality, Orlaia. You are still an Omega. Orlaia's heart sank, the weight of his words pressing down like a heavy stone. You don't know what you are talking about, she shouted, anger flaring within her. Oh, but I do, Garrick replied, a cruel smile stretching across his face. You think love can conquer all? Look around you. Love doesn't matter if the pack decides you are a threat. Cale stepped forward, his voice rising in protest. Enough, Garrick, this is not just your decision. It is mine. I will not choose fear over love. Garrick's expression darkened, but the tension in the air crackled like electricity. You are being foolish, brother. You are risking everything for a whim, he snapped, his gaze darting back to Orlair. And you, he pointed an accusatory finger at her, you'll be the reason he falls. Orlair felt the blood drain from her face, but she refused to let Garrick's words take root. I'll fight for him, she declared, her voice steady. Our love is not a whim, it is our destiny. Orlai's resolve felt like a lighthouse in a storm, but as the murmurs grew louder, she could see the doubt and disdain reflected in the eyes of their packmates. This isn't just about us, Cale urged, his voice low yet strained. We have a future to protect. Then let them judge us. Orlai shouted, her heart racing with a mix of fear and defiance. Let them see the truth of our bond. I won't live in fear of what they might think. Cale's gaze softened as he stepped closer, cupping her face in his hands. You are my mate, Orla. I need you to know that. You are my choice, not just a fleeting moment in this chaotic world. Tears sprang to her eyes at his words, the weight of their turmoil pressing down on her. But what if they turn against us? Let them come, Cale said softly, his thumb brushing away the tears that spilled down her cheeks. My heart has chosen you, and I will not turn back. We face this together. But in the shadows, Lysander watched with a smirk, her presence a dark stain on the tapestry of their moment. You are also naive, she spat, stepping forward like a spectre of doom. You think love can save you when the pack is ready to tear you apart? Orla turned to face her, anger igniting within her chest. I am not afraid of you, Lysander. Perhaps you should be, Lysander taunted, her voice dripping with disdain. The pack is a living entity, and it will devour you the moment its senses weakest. Enough. Gale roared, his voice resonating through the clearing. This is not the time for your games, Lysandra. We stand united in our choices, and I want to let you tear us apart. Unity? Is that what you call this? Lysandra sneered, her eyes sparkling with malice. You're a fool if you think the blood moon want to expose your flaws. Love is a mask, and soon it will slip. The pack shifted nervously, and Orla felt the weight of their gazes, the whispers crawling under her skin like spiders. Cale, she breathed, panic gripping her heart. What if she is right? Kale's expression turned fierce again, determination flooding his voice. Then let them see our truth, let them see that love is worth the fight, even in the face of betrayal. Before Orlai could respond, a howl erupted from within the depths of the forest, a sound both haunting and beautiful, a call to the moon, a call to destiny. The pack turned to face the sound, their instincts awakening as the night folded into chaos. Gek's eyes glinted with determination and anger as he shifted into his wolf form, muscles rippling beneath dark fur. "Stand back," he commanded, his voice a low growl. "If we read to face any threat, it will be together." The pack shifted uneasily, sensing the tension thickening in the air. Orlai could feel the call of the wolf within her, the primal instincts urging her to embrace the transformation. She felt Kale's hand slip around hers, grounding her as the moment unfolded. "Are you ready for this?" he whispered, his breath warm against her ear. "I don't know," she admitted, fear and excitement twining together. "But I want to be." With a deep breath, Orlai closed her eyes, feeling the pull of the moon and the bond that tethered her to Kale. As she surrendered to the magic of the night, the transformation hit her like a tide, fierce and freeing. When she opened her eyes, the world was transformed. Colors were sharper, smells richer, and the heartbeat of the forest pulsed around her. She could feel Kale beside her, his presence a steady force amongst the chaos. Together, he whispered in her mind, and she nodded, their spirits intertwining. The pack formed a circle around them, a mixture of wolves and humans, ready to defend their own. But as the sounds of the forest amplified, Orlai felt something dark lurking in the shadows, an uninvited presence that sent a shiver down her spine. Suddenly, from the depths of the woods, a figure emerged, a rogue wolf, eyes glowing with malice, intent on chaos. The moment it entered the clearing, the atmosphere thickened. Gek stepped forward, his fierce loyalty to the pack igniting like fire. "Stand firm," he growled, muscles tense. But Orlai felt a surge of energy, a call from the blood moon that resonated through her very being. She locked eyes with Kale, and in that moment, she knew this was their tested chance to prove their love against the storm that raged outside. Together, Orlai echoed, their voices harmonizing as they prepared to face their destiny. As the rogue lunged, teeth bared, Kale and Orlai leapt forward as one. Their bond shimmered like a beacon, a light against the darkness that threatened to tear them apart. In that heartbeat, as they fought side by side, Orlai felt invincible. Love was their shield, their strength, and even if the blood moon revealed their vulnerabilities, it also illuminated the fierce bond they shared, an unbreakable connection that would define their fate. With every growl, every clash, they fought not just for their love, but for their very existence. Against the dark tide of betrayal and doubt, they would emerge, united to two souls intertwined under the watchful gaze of the blood moon, ready to face whatever trials awaited them next. And as they fought, Orlai whispered a promise into the night, no matter the shadows that loom, our love will shine through. In that moment, the moon blazed brighter, as if in agreement, forging their destiny anew amidst the chaos of the night. The moon hung like a fiery red eye, piercing through the darkness of the evergreen Parcast clearing. Orlai's heart raced, each thrum echoing the primal energy that coursed through her veins. The rogue wolf, a shadow against the crimson glow, snarled with ferocity. Kale stood beside her, the strength of his presence grounding her amidst the chaos. "Whatever happens, we face this together," he murmured, his voice deep and steady, yet laced with urgency. Orlai nodded, their bond pulsating with the rhythm of the blood moon. Together, she echoed, her voice stronger than she felt. The rogue lunged again, his teeth glinting like daggers in the moonlight, and with a surge of instinct, Orlai leapt forward alongside Kale. The clash of wolves erupted in a symphony of growls and snarls, the night alive with the ferocity of their battle. Orlai felt the rush of power surging through her, the primal urge to protect coursing through her blood. But beneath that instinctual drive, a deeper force ignited, a love so profound that it fueled her every movement. As they fought, Kale's blue eyes met hers, a spark of fierce determination igniting the air between them. "Remember what we are fighting for," he shouted, dodging the rogue's snapping jaws. "Our love is stronger than any threat. Because we are destined." Orlai replied, feeling the magic of their connection flowing around them like an invisible shield. With each coordinated strike, they danced through the chaos, their movements fluid and instinctual, as if the moon itself orchestrated their rhythm. But as the rogue lunged again, it was not just a physical foe they faced. Gek watched from the periphery, his expression a mix of anger and envy. "You two think your love can save you," he taunted, his voice carrying over the snarls. "You are both fools." Silence. Kale's roar cut through the night, a primal echo that momentarily stilled the chaos. "This is our fight, not yours." Orlai's heart sank at the sight of Gek's face. The brotherly bond that should have united them now twisted into a weapon turned against her. Kale, he won't stop until he sees us fail, she warned, a flicker of doubt creeping into her heart. Then we make him see, Kale growled, his eyes flashing with resolve. We'll show him that love can conquer even the darkest of shadows. Just then, the rogue lunged again, its powerful frame barreling toward them. Kale and Orla struck in unison, their bodies moving as one, the bond of their hearts translating into an unstoppable force. They dodged, twisted, and surged forward, teeth snapping and claws reaching. The rogue howled in agony as they fought back, but it was clear this was not just a battle of strength, it was a clash of destinies. Orla could feel the weight of the blood moon revealing the truth of their love. Each strike against the rogue became not just a fight for survival, but a declaration of their bond. Yet as the battle raged, Garrick stepped forward, his expression darkening. "This isn't just about your love," he sneered, his voice a low growl. "This is about the pack's future, you putting us all at risk." Orla's heart plummeted at his words. "Garrick, please, we're not trying to undermine the pack," she cried, desperation creeping into her voice. "We're fighting for our right to be together. You think the pack will accept you as Kale Esme?" Garrick kissed, his eyes narrowing. "You're nothing but an omega." "Enough." Kale's voice thundered, shaking with the weight of his anger. "Orla is more than just a title. She is my mate, and I will fight for her, for us." As if sensing the tension rising, the rogue lunged again, and Orla felt the momentary distraction weaken their focus. She turned just in time to see the rogue crash toward her, fangs bared, eyes wild with bloodlust. "Look at her!" Kale shouted, and before she could react, he hurled himself toward her, intercepting the rogue in a flurry of fur and fury. The impact sent them tumbling into the underbrush, a flurry of growls and snarls echoing through the night. Orla's heart pounded in her chest as she rushed forward, horror blooming in her gut. "Gale," she screamed, desperation overriding her instincts. She could see him grappling with the rogue, his powerful frame struggling against the creature's relentless attack. "It back," Gale shouted, his voice strained as he fought to gain the upper hand. But the rogue was relentless, snapping its jaws dangerously close to Kale's throat, and fear clawed at Orla's heart. "I won't let you do this," she roared, drawing on the strength of the blood moon that pulsed through her. With a surge of energy, Orla leapt into the fray. She felt the magic of the night wrapping around her, fueling her with an otherworldly strength. The rogue turned its gaze toward her, confusion flickering in its wild eyes. "Together!" Kale shouted again, his voice a fierce battle cry. In that moment, Orla channeled the essence of the moon, her instincts igniting with the power of their love. They moved as one, weaving between the rogue's snapping jaws, their synchronized strikes finding their mark. Together, they fought against the rogue, united by the bond that transcended the chaos. "Now!" Kale yelled, and with a final surge of energy, they struck as one. The rogue let out a howl of defeat as they pushed it back, the power of their connection igniting the air around them, the blood moon illuminating their victory. But the moment of triumph was short-lived. Garrick stepped forward, a mask of fury etched on his face. "You think this is over?" He spat, his fingers twitching at his sides. "Your love may have won this battle, but it won't win the war." Orla felt the chill settle in her bones, the weight of Garrick's words heavy and foreboding. "I won't back down. I refuse to let you tear us apart," she declared, her voice strong. "Then you'll be the reason he falls," Garrick warned, his voice low and menacing. "And when that happens, I'll make sure the pack knows it was you who led him astray." Kale stepped closer, his posture protective, but Orla could see the storm brewing within him. "You're wrong, Garrick. Love is with the fight," Kale asserted, his voice unwavering despite the tension. But doubt flickered in Orla's heart. "What if he is right?" she whispered, turning to Kale, fear creeping into her voice. "What if our love leads to ruin?" Kale's eyes softened, his expression firm. "Then we face it together. I will never let you go. You are my destiny," he vowed, his voice fierce and unyielding. Orla felt the weight of his words settle over her like a warm embrace, but Garrick interrupted, his voice dripping with cynicism. "Love is a chain, Kale. You'll find that out when the pack comes for you." The tension hung in the air, thick and suffocating. Orla stepped forward, her heart racing. "We're willing to fight for what we have, for our love," she declared, her voice steady despite the turmoil brewing within. "Fighting one to protect you from the pack's judgment," Garrick snapped, his expression filled with bitterness. "You'll be abandoned. You'll be nothing." With a fierce glint in her eyes, Orla responded, "Then let them come. We'll show them the strength of our bond. Love can overcome anything, even betrayal." The air crackled with energy as the blood moon hung high, illuminating their resolve. Cale stepped closer, his presence a sanctuary amidst the storm. Together, we will face whatever comes. Love is our shield. But even as she spoke, Orelai felt a weight settling on her heart. A whisper of doubt lingered, echoing Lysandra-esque cruel words. Would their love truly withstand the scrutiny of the pack, the darkness that loomed? As they stood united, a howl rose from the depths of the forest, a haunting call that sent shivers down her spine. It wasn't just the rogue, it was a reminder that their struggles had only just begun. Ready yourself, Cale murmured, his voice a soothing balm against her fears. Whatever comes next, we face together. Orelai nodded, feeling the strength of their bond wrap around them like a protective shroud. She would fight for their love, no matter the cost. The blood moon had revealed their truth, and as the shadows danced around them, she whispered a promise into the night: no matter how dark it gets, our love will shine through. And as they prepared to face whatever trials lay ahead, Orelai knew that destiny had woven their paths together, stronger than any challenge that threatened to tear them apart.